The blue lights wash over the arena. Friday night SmackDown is already electric, but there's a different feeling in the air tonight. Not excitement, not celebration, tension. The camera cuts to the ring, and standing there, motionless, expression carved from stone, is Gunther. No entrance music, no Ludwig Kaiser beside him. Just the ring general alone. The crowd buzzes, unsure whether to boo or stay silent. Gunther doesn't react, he simply raises the microphone and waits. The longer he waits, the quieter the building becomes, until every breath can be heard. Gunther finally speaks. SmackDown, he says, voice low and controlled, has crowned many champions. Many warriors, many men who believed they understood dominance. He slowly turns, looking into the hard camera. But dominance is not belief. It is fact. The crowd murmurs. For nearly 2 years, Gunther continues, I have broken bodies. I have ended streaks. I have stripped men of pride, of confidence, of identity. A pause. And still, people whisper the same name. Gunther stops pacing. They whisper the name of a man who does not stand here. A man who does not fight every week. A man whose legend has grown, because he has not returned. The crowd begins to realize what he's saying. A few chants start. Brock, Brock, Brock. Gunther smirks for the first time. Brock Lesnar. The arena explodes. Gunther nods slowly, acknowledging the reaction but not impressed. They call you the Beast. The Conqueror. The final boss before there ever was one, Gunther says. They say that when Brock Lesnar enters a ring, fear follows. Gunther steps closer to the ropes. But Brock, fear has never stopped me. The crowd erupts again. Gunther's tone sharpens. You vanished from this company while I stayed. You hid behind reputation while I built reality. You destroyed men in moments, I dismantle them piece by piece. Gunther leans on the ropes, staring into the camera. So tonight, on SmackDown, I am done with whispers. He straightens up. Brock Lesnar, if you are still the monster they claim you are, then step onto my battlefield. The crowd is losing it now. Gunther raises his voice for the first time. I am challenging you. The arena explodes into deafening noise. Gunther lets the chants roll, unmoving, unflinching. But then, the lights flicker. Once, twice. The crowd gasps. And then, boom, the unmistakable sound hits. Brock Lesnar's music. The place erupts. The camera cuts to the stage, smoke pouring out as Brock Lesnar steps through the curtain, cowboy hat on, hoodie pulled low, eyes locked on the ring. Gunther doesn't move, not an inch. Lesnar walks slowly, methodically, not rushing, not smiling. The look on his face isn't rage, it's calculation. Paul Heyman is not with him. This is personal. Lesnar enters the ring and stands directly across from Gunther. No words, just two titans measuring each other. The crowd chants, Holy S, before cutting themselves off. Lesnar finally removes his hat. He smirks. So, Brock says calmly, you wanted my attention. Gunther nods. You have it. Lesnar chuckles softly. I've heard about you, Brock says. They say you're different, that you don't flinch, that you don't break. Gunther steps closer. They say many things, Gunther replies. Most of them become excuses. The crowd pops hard. Lesnar's smirk fades. You think you're the first guy to stand in this ring and say my name like that? Brock asks. You think I don't end legends for a living? Gunther doesn't blink. I am not a legend, he says. I am a standard. The tension is unbearable. Lesnar circles him slowly. You hit hard, Brock admits. You're strong, tough, but you've never been locked in a ring with something that enjoys hurting people. Gunther steps forward until their foreheads nearly touch. And you, Gunther says quietly, have never faced someone who does not fear pain, because pain is my language. The crowd is on their feet. Lesnar laughs. You want a fight? Brock asks. Gunther raises the mic one last time. No, he says. I want to expose you. That does it. Lesnar shoves Gunther, hard. The crowd explodes. Gunther stumbles back one step, then chops Brock across the chest. The sound echoes like a gunshot. Lesnar roars and fires back with a right hand. Chaos erupts. The two collide in the center of the ring, fists flying, chops cracking, bodies slamming into each other like car crashes. Security floods the ring. Officials try to pull them apart, but neither man stops. Gunther lands another brutal chop. Lesnar responds with a thunderous suplex. The ring shakes. Finally, it takes a dozen officials to separate them. Lesnar is dragged to one corner, breathing heavy, smiling like a predator who's found a worthy hunt. Gunther stands in the opposite corner, chest red, eyes burning. They lock eyes one final time. Lesnar mouths the words, You're dead. Gunther raises his hand, slicing his throat in response. The crowd is deafening. SmackDown fades out with one message clear. 2 monsters, 1 ring, and a collision that will redefine dominance forever. Alright, picking up immediately where SmackDown faded, and pushing it into much darker, more brutal territory, with escalating violence, consequences, and shock. Same continuous format, high retention pacing. SmackDown doesn't end. It cuts back in. The cameras are shaking as officials try to restore order, but nothing about this is under control. Brock Lesnar breaks free first. He rips a security guard off his back and launches him across the ring like dead weight. Another official rushes in. Lesnar grabs him by the throat and plants him with a spinebuster so hard the mat buckles. The crowd is screaming now. Gunther sees the opening. He charges. Not running, marching, like a tank with no brakes. Gunther blasts Lesnar with a boot to the jaw, snapping Brock's head sideways. He follows immediately with a series of machine gun chops, each one louder than the last. Brock's chest is already red, already swelling, already bleeding slightly where the skin has split. Gunther roars. Not a scream, a declaration. Lesnar stumbles back into the ropes, and Gunther levels him with a lariat that flips Brock inside out. The beast crashes to the mat, rolling instinctively to his knees. The crowd can't believe it. Gunther grabs Brock by the hair. Not gently. He yanks him up and drives a knee into Lesnar's face, snapping his head back. Brock drops to one knee again, never fully down, never fully beaten. Gunther backs up. Then he charges. But Brock explodes forward with a sudden tackle driving Gunther into the corner. The ring post rattles as Brock unloads short, savage elbows, splitting Gunther's lip open. Blood spills down Gunther's chin. The ring general doesn't retreat. He smiles. Gunther bites down, pushes forward, and headbutts Brock square in the face. Once, twice. Lesnar staggers. Gunther grabs him around the waist and launches him with a German suplex. Then another. Then another. The crowd counts along, losing their minds. Gunther holds on, muscles screaming, and throws Brock again. Lesnar finally releases, rolling out of the ring to the floor. The beast is down. Gunther doesn't celebrate. He steps through the ropes and follows. Bad idea. Lesnar springs up and drives Gunther spine first into the steel steps. The impact echoes through the arena. Gunther collapses, gasping, back arched in agony. Lesnar grabs the steps. The crowd realizes what's happening. No, no, no. Lesnar raises them over his head and smashes them down onto Gunther's back. Metal meets bone. Gunther screams. Lesnar isn't finished. He flips the steps aside and grabs Gunther, hoisting him up and throwing him shoulder first into the barricade. Fans scramble back as Gunther crashes hard, slumping to the floor. Lesnar stands over him, breathing heavy, smiling. He bends down and whispers something only Gunther can hear. Then he locks in a standing Kimura, wrenching Gunther's arm violently behind his back. The ring general's face twists in pain as officials desperately try to break it up. Gunther refuses to tap. He refuses to scream. Instead, he powers up, veins bulging, and slams Brock backward into the ring post, forcing the hold to break. Both men collapse. Both men rise. Barely. Gunther wipes blood from his mouth and smears it across his chest like war paint. He steps toward Brock. You wanted dominance. Gunther growls. This is survival. Lesnar roars and charges. Gunther meets him with a devastating boot, dropping Brock to one knee again. Gunther grabs Lesnar's head and drives it into the announce table, cracking the surface. The table doesn't break. Yet, Gunther lifts Brock, every ounce of strength he has, and powerbombs him through the table. The arena explodes. Both men lie in the wreckage, breathing heavy, chests heaving, blood and sweat mixing with splintered wood. Officials swarm again, this time forming a human wall between them. Gunther struggles to his feet first. He stands over the destruction. He looks at Brock's broken body. And then he looks directly into the camera. Brock Lesnar, Gunther says through bloodied lips, you wanted a monster. He raises his arms. You found a war. Lesnar stirs. He sits up, laughing, not angry, excited. He looks back at Gunther and mouths one word. Soon, SmackDown finally fades to black, not with closure, not with peace, but with a promise. This wasn't a confrontation. This was a preview of mutual destruction. And when Gunther and Brock Lesnar finally collide one-on-one, only one truth will remain standing.